On the afternoon of Monday, June 30th, 2025, the municipality of Bardonecchia, located in the Piedmont region of Italy, was shaken by an extreme weather event that brought yet another tragedy to this community in the Upper Susa Valley. Starting around 4 p.m., a sudden bout of severe weather struck the area with unexpected intensity, causing the Frigius and Dora rivers to overflow. The resulting flash floods submerged streets, destroyed infrastructure, and posed a serious threat to local residents. Heavy rains, accompanied by thunderstorms and strong winds, triggered a rapid surge in the Frigius River. This surge, filled with mud and debris, swept down the Susa Valley with great force, devastating everything in its path. The floodwaters quickly reached urban areas, inundating key roads and leaving entire neighborhoods completely cut off. The consequences were immediate. Traffic along the A32 highway was halted in both directions, especially between Bardonecchia and the Bowler district of ALS. In addition, international rail service between Salbertrand and Modane was suspended, effectively cutting off the city. The State Road 335 was also severely impacted, with floodwaters covering large sections of the route. In response to the emergency, Mayor Chiara Rossetti declared a red zone in the areas near the overflowing rivers, ordering the immediate closure of all bridges and a total ban on vehicle traffic in high-risk zones. Citizens and tourists were urged to stay indoors and avoid all unnecessary movement. Emergency crews were mobilized without delay. Ten firefighting units were deployed in the area, along with rescue helicopters such as the Drago 66 and specialized teams like the Alpine River Rescue Unit, Spilio. Their main tasks included evacuating buildings and rescuing individuals trapped in their vehicles. In the Isusa area, 10 people were evacuated from a residential building, while 4 others were rescued from vehicles caught in the floodwaters. Medical teams treated them on site, and thankfully, all were reported in stable condition. Elsewhere, a couple and their child were rescued near the riverbank and brought to designated safe zones by authorities. Tragically, the day also brought heartbreaking news. A 70-year-old man, identified as Franco Schiprini, a well-known local environmentalist, was swept away by the Frigius River while trying to seek shelter. His disappearance prompted a massive search effort involving firefighters, helicopters, and drones. Hours later, his body was found at the entrance to Bardonecchia. Several students attending summer camps and recreational activities were also evacuated to the Palazzetto dello Sport, which was quickly converted into an emergency shelter. At least a dozen children were taken there, while some adults remain isolated in rural areas that were severely affected. One of the hardest hit areas was Via Susa, where firefighters from the Susa and Ulzio units rescued 4 individuals. Meanwhile, the fire department's river rescue team from Cuneo was dispatched to the municipalities of Argentra and Cal della Maddalena, where landslides and rockfalls completely blocked the state road, preventing any passage of vehicles or trucks. At the same time, multiple witnesses shared videos and images on social media capturing the devastating impact of the flood. The footage showed muddy, debris-filled water raging through the streets, sweeping away vehicles, trees, and urban furniture. One resident recounted how his car was swept away right in front of him. The vehicle remains missing and is being searched for by emergency teams. The floods have caused major collapses in Bardonecchia's transportation infrastructure. The city's main exits have become impassable, and access to lower areas is currently impossible. Local authorities issued repeated statements urging the public to avoid all travel or attempts to approach bridges. The municipal government has requested additional support from both regional and national authorities. Antonino Iuria, a regional deputy from Piedmont representing the Five-Star Movement, called for an urgent report on the current state of funding allocated for hydrogeological disaster mitigation in Bardonecchia. This marks the second major flood to hit the city in less than 2 years, raising serious concerns about the effectiveness of previously implemented preventive measures. The Palazzetto dello Sport, besides functioning as a temporary shelter, is now hosting several families evacuated from the Viasa neighborhood, one of the most severely affected by the flooding. Conditions in Nova Lisa and nearby rural areas remain critical, with dozens of people still isolated and without access to safe routes. Meanwhile, the highway operator CITAF, which oversees the A32, issued a statement confirming the full closure of the highway due to unstable ground and structural damage caused by the flooding. Technicians and engineers have begun assessments to determine the extent of the damage and to develop a repair plan. Elsewhere in northern Italy, additional severe storms and hail were reported in cities like Turin, Biella, and Forcelli, while those locations also experienced urban flooding and temporary power outages. The impact did not reach the scale of what occurred in Bardonecchia. The Regional Meteorological Center continues to issue warnings for thunderstorms and heavy rainfall across the Piedmont region. Forecasts remain grim, with bad weather expected to persist over the next 48 hours, further complicating rescue and recovery operations. Mayor Rossetti has confirmed that emergency crews will remain active until the crisis is fully under control. Their efforts are focused on monitoring river levels, clearing blocked roads, assisting stranded residents, and ensuring the structural safety of bridges and other critical infrastructure. This disaster has reopened painful memories of the historic flood on August 13, 2023, which had already left deep scars on the community and devastated the local tourism industry. Despite investments and promises made in the aftermath, Bardonecchia once again finds itself living the same nightmare. Bardonecchia has endured a catastrophic day that highlights the vulnerability of many alpine communities in the face of climate change and increasingly extreme weather events. The loss of life, widespread destruction, and collective trauma will linger for a long time in the hearts of residents, who now focus solely on rebuilding what was lost and ensuring that such a tragedy never happens again.